mean, there's just no way we can win if you're not going to make explosive plays down the field with accuracy. The talent level isn't quite what it's good enough, and you're going to have to go somewhere else next year and reestablish your career if you can.
Step into my office with Michael Lombardi. Mr. Lombardi, we'll see you now.
Michael, first one to knock on your door today, fresh off a long plane trip back to the States, is Danny Dimes. 22 of 37, threw for just 190 yards, couple picks. You lose to the Panthers in Munich. Michael, what do you have to say to Danny today?
Well, I admire your toughness, really. I admire your character. I think you are everything that a player wants to be. The problem is you just can't get it going, and that's the real hard thing. You just can't make enough plays to get it going, and it's not your fault you were picked 6th overall in the draft. It's not your fault that somebody put $40 million a year in your lap. You had to take it, right? And so I think, to me, this is one of those situations where you're probably going to have to realize you're going to have to go somewhere else to rebuild your career. And I would urge you to go somewhere where you felt like you had a complete connection to a quarterback coach, somebody who's really good at rehabbing quarterbacks, because you're going to need a total rehab, because the pressure of you being great is too much. It's just not fair to you. And so as much as I've been critical of your play, I've really been more critical of the people who believe in you, who don't see the weaknesses in your game, the ability to play fast on third down, the ability to control the football when you need to. Everything has to be perfect for you to be successful. And the fact that you've never been able to throw the ball down the field is the biggest concern. And I've been saying it for 5 years. You've never had, I think your first game that you played in against Tampa was your finest game ever, where you threw it up the field. I mean, there's just no way we can win if you're not going to make explosive plays down the field with accuracy. And unfortunately, that just happens. I mean, all the character elements are there. It's just the talent level isn't quite what it's good enough, and you're going to have to go somewhere else next year and reestablish your career if you can.
I think it's great advice, by the way, because you've seen a lot of examples of guys like Sam Darnold this year, Baker Mayfield years past, certainly Geno Smith. You go to different places, you're going to get another opportunity, probably just not going to work out in New York. Caleb Williams is knocking on the door, Michael. It did not look good yesterday in the Windy City. Threw for just 120 yards, and that was on 30 attempts, 16 completions. They can't score a touchdown. They get blown out at home 19-3 by the Patriots. Michael, what do you say to the overall number one pick just a year ago?
Well, I think NFL's hard, Caleb. I think, to me, when you came in with that cockiness and believing that you were never going to punt, that your punter wasn't going to punt, he's already punted 45 times this year. So that's a far cry from saying he wasn't going to punt, right? I think, to me, there's a humbleness that comes with this. And I think, to me, you have to look inward. It's going to be easy to blame Shane Waldron. It's going to be easy to blame Matt Eberflus, but that doesn't take away the responsibility from you. Your inability to throw the ball down the field, 6.1 yards per attempt isn't good enough. And the NFL's a hard game. It's not easy. And I know you're not getting protected. I understand that. I know it's challenging for you because you always have people in your face. But at some point, you're going to have to spend more time studying the playbook. You're going to spend more time learning the game, and you're going to have to figure out. Because right now, when I watch you play, I don't even know what you're good at. I don't even know what you're good at. You hold the ball too long. You don't make really crisp decisions. You don't play fast. You haven't improved one bit from week 1 to week 9 to week 10. You haven't. And the mark of the NFL is, because of the long season, because of the rookie wall that you're eventually going to hit, you got to keep improving. You got to get better. And right now, Bo Nix, who was the 12th pick, looks better than you as the first pick. You're going to have to accept it and embrace it. That's the only way you're going to get better. But if you want to blame Eberflus, which is going to be easy to do, if you want to blame Shane Waldron, which is going to be easy to do, you won't get better for the next staff that comes in and coaches you.
Well said. Let's get to Indianapolis, because Shane Steichen needs some words today. He decided to bench Anthony Richardson to go to Joe Flacco. That move has not worked out, at least on paper so far. 0-2. He says, hey, that's the leader. He gives us the best chance to lead, and he will remain the starting quarterback, quote, until I say otherwise. Michael, what's your talk to the head coach of Indy?
Well, I don't think you're a head coach, Shane. I think that's the biggest problem. Your decision-making on game day is atrocious. You've never really improved the defense. We've been screaming about Gus Bradley's inability defensively, which hasn't really happened. You know, and offensively, you're a great play designer, and you can call a game, but that doesn't make you a head coach. That doesn't make you somebody who's going to do that. And I've urged everybody in that organization, because I like a lot of people at the Colts, to try to convince you to become a head coach, but it just doesn't seem like you have any interest in being a head coach. And you can claim you make all the decisions and who's going to be the starting quarterback, but you've yet to make a decision on how to fix the defense. You've yet to make a decision to really how to play the game the right way to help your team win. And I think that's really what it is. I mean, you're a head coach in name only, not in authority. You do nothing to help the defense. You do nothing to help the kicking game. And you don't understand how to control and set up an offensive play structure that helps you win the game and play the game a certain way. And whether you put Flacco in there, look, would you have lost 2 games in a row with Richardson? They wouldn't even have been close. So let's not even go there. The idea to switch back now is absurd, right? But really the idea is, when are you going to become a head coach? What kind of leader are you? You really show no leadership skills. You show a great skill set for understanding how to run plays, but you don't show any skill set as a leader of the team, because if you did, you would have fixed the defense going into the season. You would have been able to make improvements in certain areas of the team, and your decision-making would have been improved. But that doesn't happen. I mean, yesterday's decision to go for it on 4th down, to pass up a field goal, keep your team in the game, you're bordering on Brendan Staley right now. You're going to lose the locker room.
Yeah, I think people always get kind of caught up in the individual week-to-week battles and not the bigger picture of the war. And right now he's losing the overall war as a head coach. Darren Rizzi, so far so good down there in New Orleans. 1-0 is the interim guy here. Get their first win down there in New Orleans since week 2. They'd lost 7 in a row. They break that with a home win against the ATL. Michael, Darren's at the door. How do you tell him to keep this momentum going?
As a pride of Bergen Catholic, Darren, you did a great job. You showed enthusiasm. You showed energy. I think your team responded to you, and I think certainly your team played with physicality. You know, look, you've got the Browns coming to town this week. I think focus on just that game alone, and I think you'll have a better opportunity to continue on. And I think you've got to show your skills as a leader, right? You've got to show your skills to be able to handle the role that you've been enticed to put into. And the kicking game leads the way, but you can just see the players, how they reacted to you, and I think that was really encouraging. I think, to me, just stay within your skis, show your emotions, show your ability to get the players to play their finest.
Thanks for watching, but don't let the betting insights end here. If you want an extra edge this football season, you can get a month of VSiN Pro right now, absolutely free. That means access to our betting insights, analysis, and tools like our betting splits at 0 cost to you. Click the link in the description to sign up.